Every modern parent knows this feeling, a constant, quiet hum of anxiety, driven by what's on the internet, what's happening on social media, and how fast the world is changing around your child. When that worry spikes, the immediate instinct is to tighten your grip. You start checking their phones, setting strict curfews, or even installing tracking apps to monitor their every move. This doesn't come from a bad place. You stay up late worrying about their future. You provide for them, and you would do absolutely anything to keep them out of harm's way. These rules offer a sense of control for the adult, but they often mask a growing distance between you and the teenager. Before we look at why these measures often backfire, we have to look at the atmosphere they create inside the home. You might think all these rules are keeping the house safe, but really they are just making it quiet. Your teenagers come home, eat, go straight to their rooms, and shut the door behind them. This diagram illustrates a frustrating cycle at play in millions of homes. Notice how parental surveillance flows directly into teenage concealment. By constantly monitoring them, you aren't keeping them safe. You are training them to become highly sophisticated at hiding things. As the pressure mounts on this side of the loop, they adapt to survive it. They open secret social media accounts. They constantly change their passwords. They find new technological workarounds to dodge your tracking. The harder you squeeze to force transparency, the deeper you push your child into the shadows. To break that cycle, view trust as a structure you build. This is the ladder of trust. The foundation is open communication. When they talk, put the phone down and listen. The critical rule is mastering your reactions. Always suppress the reflex to yell. If they get shouted down the moment they slip up, they learn to just stay quiet. Creating a home where they do not fear admitting their faults is the only environment where they will volunteer the truth. Even if you manage to build that foundation, there is one error parents make in the heat of an argument that can permanently shatter it. Imagine your daughter comes to you in confidence. She tells you about a time someone tried to cheat on an exam, or a boy who was bothering a friend. She is treating you as a trusted ally. A few weeks later, you get into a heated argument with her about something entirely different. In a moment of absolute anger, you weaponize that exact secret, throwing it back in her face to tell her she is just as bad as the kids she complained about. This betrayal creates a long-term barrier. The next time she faces a real crisis, she will weigh the risk of telling you against the fear of that information being used against her later. Step 2 is giving small freedoms. Instead of the immediate denial dead end, route their requests through a logical inquiry. Who is going? How will you travel? If they answer clearly, grant conditional approval with a structural check-in agreement, like messaging you every 2 hours. When they inevitably misstep with these new freedoms, we reach the final step, handling mistakes together. Your response has to shift away from "I told you so." You sit down next to them and ask, "How do we find a way out of this?" By solving the problem together, you alter the entire power dynamic of the household. You stop being the warden they need to outsmart and become the support system they rely on. One mother, completely overwhelmed by anxiety about her son's safety, secretly installed a tracking app on his phone. When he discovered it, the fallout was toxic. He stayed angry, he retreated to his room, shut the door, and that terrible, heavy silence took over the home. Recognizing that her attempt to monitor him was actually destroying their connection, she pivoted. She deleted the app, went to her son, and issued a direct apology for using the wrong method to manage her worry. Together, they established a new boundary. The invasive digital surveillance was gone, replaced by a simple, mutually agreed-upon 10 p.m. curfew. Because the mother stopped treating him like a suspect, the lying ceased. Slowly, the teenager started initiating communication, voluntarily coming to her to talk about his day. You cannot shield your children from the world forever. Your actual job is to prepare them to fight their own battles for the days when you aren't there to intervene. You forge that independence by stepping back to let them fail occasionally and deliberately pausing to praise their small successes, like developing a new habit or helping out around our house. Digital tools can monitor coordinates, but only a secure relationship ensures that when a child hits a breaking point, they